welcome again. So this time is going to be, as you can see, another time that I sit down with you guys and just talk a little bit about life and talk a little bit about the topic of this video is expectations, or as Google likes to say,
Expectation.
yes. So why I'm talking about expectations now? Because when you're living your life, most of the time you're expecting things, and they have like a really they have a movie like that is like expecting the unexpectable or something like that. But my whole idea is me, Kyle. I'm a person that is really expect the other ones to do the same that I do for them. I know that I shouldn't, but it's a thing that most of the time you don't realize what you're expecting. And when I do something for the person, I cannot do most of the time. I could not do without really expecting and having hopes that the person's gonna change or the person's gonna do something for me as well. I'm gonna give you guys a few examples. Again, it's not that I want to hold the person accountable for that, but I just want to receive it back. Let's say it like that, because the way so that goes back to my love language. That is, I really appreciate gestures and things that person does for me. So when I do something for people, I usually expect things. I know that I shouldn't, and I know that if I'm doing something for a person, I should do it because it is my best interest to see the other person grows. You know what I mean? But for example, for birthdays, it was my birthday a couple of months ago, and then it will be my birthday in a couple of months. So when it's a birthday, for example, of my wife Mariana, and I shower her with presents, and I took her out, and I make her the most important person in the world, I know that I should do that because I care about her and not because I'm expecting her to do the same thing for me when it's my time. But every single time that when was my time to be the person, they receive the compliments and they receive the gifts, I usually aren't. I'm not that person. And that really frustrated me. And that really creates me the idea of expectation. Because in my head, I created a thing that I shouldn't have done it. Because when you really care for that people, you're doing for them. You're not doing to receive it back something. You're just creating that monster in your head that is going to keep hunting you, just talking to you saying, oh, you remember that you gave her presents, but when it was your time, she didn't give you nothing. Okay, why should I care? I give the presents on the first place because I wanted to, not because she asked me to. I give the presents because I wanted her to be happy with the things that I give it to her, because she asked me for those things. Like she say to me, "Oh, um, for example, on the birthday of this year. She was complaining that our blender was trash. She was complaining that our vacuum machine was bad. She was complaining that she doesn't have like a book to read or something like that. And I just give it to her because I know that those things would make her happy. And after I did that, I was just thinking, yeah, I'm giving her all of those things, spending like my hard-earned money, and when it's going to be like my birthday or something that come up that is really special to me, she's not gonna make it for me. So why should I be the one who are sacrificing myself to give the things for the person that I like if the person that I like is not going to give me anything back? I know that is a terrible way to think of, and that's why I'm just open for you guys because this is my opinion and I think this is a thing that I should change. It happens again with my brother. Like we it's been like a year that I didn't saw my brother. And then after that, when we are out like going to the shopping mall and everything, I was just thinking, oh, I want to give something nice to him. And then I was going there, and then I just bought him the the steering wheel for the Xbox. And then I give him sell to him my tablet because he needed one. And buying one new was gonna be like super expensive for Brazilians, and then I just give it mine to him, sell it to him, and those things are that yeah, that's okay. I did it because I wanted, because he needed, because I want him to be happy. But when it comes to him giving things back, I shouldn't expect him to give things back. But when it released the new game, the new Bleach game, that is basically a fighting game about an anime that we watched it together as a child, and we had like so much fun and so much memories. He didn't think about buying it for me, and I know that he doesn't need to do anything for me, but I really want to have like a little bit of consideration that the other people's think about me and trying to please me the same way that I try to please them. But again, I'm just trapping myself in a loop of expectations. That is why this topic is so important to analyze. Because when you're expecting something, you're creating an idea of a future, an idea of a retribution that you really don't need to. Because you're basically going against your first instinct and the first thing to come up to your mind. You're just doing something not for the goodness of your heart or not because you want the other person to be happy, but you're doing something for them to do something for you, so it's be reciprocal. But they don't need to do that. And when I keep looking to my feelings and keep seeing the things that I was doing for other people and then expecting something back, I just need to sit down and relax and think about myself and thinking why I'm really doing this. I'm doing this because it's important to me, or I'm doing this because I want to be perceived in another way. I'm doing that because I really want to, or I'm doing that because I just want to be remembered. And that's going back to the idea of not being forgotten. That's why when I give things to people, I usually try to give them red colors because red is my favorite color, and when I give them red, I want them to, when they're using that thing, I want them to think about me. I know that is a very selfish way to try to engage with people, but deep down, I think that if I'm not doing those things, they're going to forget about me because they don't have anything that remember that make them remember me and who I was and the moment that we shared together and the experiences and everything. Even though even though I know that is a lie, that is a fear that I feel every single time that I give something to someone. I'm always trying to be a pleaser to make people happy, to make people laugh, so they think higher of me or thinking that I'm a good person. Trying to forget about the problems that I have and the problems that I face and all the things that is in my head that keeps banging and keep makes me lose myself. But in the end, this is all the false expectations that we have against each other. That is only the false expectation that we have against each other. That is not we have. That is that I have. I'm just trying to see myself for a thing that I'm not really am. I'm just trying to portray an image of a saint like person or an idea that I'm better than the others because I'm so kind and so grateful and so open handed that the other people is gonna think higher of me. They that I really don't need and don't understand why I do that. Should I stop of doing those kind of stuff because it's not what I really wanted to do? But that doesn't make sense because I wanted to. I wanted to give presents to my wife. I wanted to give presents to my brother, and I shouldn't expect something back. But when they do something for themselves instead of just thinking about me and giving back the things that I shown, that the appreciation that I show for them, they just makes me upset and makes me want to take it back all the things that I did and all the money and time that I spent. But in the end, I should have done that. That's probably why that upsets me so much. Why I think about that way. Why I couldn't just be more free with my choices and just be more kind and be more appreciated. They already did so much for me. They already do so much things for me that I could not even realize that I need to understand and just being more grateful for all the things that I receive and all the things they give it to me, not in a physical way, but in an emotional way. Being my confidant, being my brother, being with me, sharing moments, spending time together that is never going to be back. But in the end, I was just so focused on the things that I was sent getting back that I just forgot about the things that I have. And that is the thing about the expectation. You're just looking forward instead of facing the reality and facing the now. Because going back to the thing of giving presents to my wife, this is not the first time that happens. And then I said, oh, why don't you give me things? And that is a very selfish way to put myself out there. And it's a very selfish way to see myself and portray myself. Because I'm not trying to get anything out of it. I'm just trying to be remembered. And just trying to be like uh, receiving something that she remember of me. But in the end, I'm just being selfish, and I'm just being a bad guy because I shouldn't give anything expecting anything back, because it's not a very good thing to do. So that's why I think I'm just open up my feelings and trying to show my situation so you can try to avoid it as well. Trying to use my mistakes and use my insecurities to be a better person and to make the right choices. Not just to uphold the higher ground, but uh, trying to see that you're not in the higher ground to begin with. Because even though you're doing something for the persons that you like, you're doing because you wanted to. You're not doing because you have to. I think this is the most different thing that you can say. You're just doing because you want to. They didn't ask. They're happy because you did, but they don't flat out force you to do it. And this is the way that I choose to face this problem now. Is I'm not forced to give things to the other persons. I don't have the obligation to satisfy the other person, but I have the obligation to satisfy myself. What I mean is, I have to do the things that I want to do and not expecting the things that the person doesn't need to do back to me. If I want to give a thing for anyone, I shouldn't expect that anyone to give anything back to me. I just need to give to be proud of myself that I did, not because they want me to do. I just need to do it because it's important to me, to that other person to be happy. And the other person thinks that she's not alone, and I'm here to be with her, and I'm here to help her if she needs. And I think that this is the best way that we can face the problems of expectations. Having expectations is a very important thing because it's basically you're planning to your future. But you need to remember that just because you plan something doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Just because you're thinking about other person and how the other person's gonna feel doesn't mean that the other person's gonna think how you gonna feel, or if she needs to give something back to you, because they don't have that obligation either. You just give them one thing because you wanted to. It is, I think it's similar to the paying forward thing. They say, "Oh, I'm doing this thing and I'm paying forward. I'm paying for the person behind me." The person behind you doesn't need to pay for the person behind them, because that's not how a life works. You need to do things, good things, because you wanted to feel good about yourself because you're doing the right thing. You're not doing good things so good things happen to you. It's not a one-to-one. You're doing the good things because it's right, because it's one thing that is important to you, because it is the thing that you want to do in the first place. So you already are receiving the gratification of your deeds in the moment that you fulfill it, because you're already disposing yourself to help, disposing yourself to give. You don't need to receive because you're already receiving the satisfaction of helping the other. And I really think that this is it. I sometimes I use those videos to talk to you guys, to basically try to put all the cloudy things that I have in my head like in a straight line, to see more clearly what I need to do and what I need to think and what I'm thinking about that problem. Because having a lot of expectation and expectations that the other person doesn't need to fulfill is very dangerous, because you're start to become angry and start to hating and start to stopping doing the things that you're doing because you're not being retributed, because you're not getting anything back, but you're already receiving back, like I said before. And this is the moment of total clarification for me, so thank you so much. And this is my opinion, and don't expect anything. I create this channel just to be open with myself. I truly am who I think I'm in this video. I'm not expecting anything out of this channel. I'm not expecting to be a YouTuber. I'm not expecting to have thousands of followers. I'm not expecting to change the lives of the person that is watching me. I'm not expecting to influence anyone. But if it happens, it's good. But if it don't, the idea of recording my ideas and the way that I'm doing, just having fun, just talking to the camera and open my heart and open my thoughts and sharing the things that I like, is my prize, is my gratification, is my end goal. I'm not doing this for money, I'm not doing this for fame. I'm just doing to be happy and share my happiness and share my flaws and share the things that I like with you. And not only with you, but with me in the future. With my wife, with my son and daughter in the future, if I will have one, with my cousins and my brothers and my brother's son and everyone, just to be remembered, just to have like this little diary that I can reference to, and to use this me as a reference to my future self, to show and remember, yeah, I was a fun person, or I was pretty stupid, and see how times affect ourselves. So again, thank you so much. This is my opinion, and see you on the next.